Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I just did a 30-minute video and I kept having to make space, and I deleted 2 of my videos because they were cut off within making space so I could make my video. So Mercury retrograde is definitely having its way with me. I am actually having caffeinated coffee just so I could do this video again, which I never drank ever. It's in the house, so I just took a little bit of it. And I happen to use a North Carolina cup, so I own most of the states, so maybe you guys are in North Carolina. It's a sign, I don't know. It's very frustrating because the message that was coming through was so solid, and now I have to start all over. Okay, so let's see what's going on with Divine Masculine, okay? I already kind of know what's going on with Divine Masculine because I just did a whole reading on it, but maybe that message wasn't meant to be delivered. Okay, so what is going on with the DM right now? And I've been, this was, every time I use this deck to start off, I get that Knight of Wands. Let's see what comes through here. Okay, so, yeah, this is sort of similar. Let's see if I can get, okay. Yeah, we've got King of Wands and Knight of Wands. So, you know, what I was talking about in my other video is that the masculine is currently really trying to deal with the fact that he still has this like playboy mentality. And this playboy mentality, this desire to keep a lot of things on this like physical, sexual realm is his way of coping. Now, I read a post earlier this week that was really good, and it was about how pleasure seeking is a trauma response. And because I always wondered why is it that addicts are seeking pleasure, but what does that have to do with, I guess, right, it's trying to cover up pain, but it's almost like I was always trying to understand it, because just because someone is like a pleasure seeker, does that necessarily mean they're trying to mask a pain? But I do feel that is what happens with the masculine. The masculine, it's really easy for him to keep things on a pleasure level because that allows him to avoid really dealing with anything, okay? Now we have the 8 of Swords reversed here, the 9 of Pentacles reversed, and the Hierophant reversed. What I'm getting is that the masculine cannot see clearly. He only knows his impulses. He only knows how to go according to, the only upright things here, no pun intended, are these passionate wands energy, okay? So the only thing he knows is what makes him feel good, what gives him that sense of like hit, almost like he's alive, you know, what he's fired up about when it comes to passion. It could be in any area of his life, but I usually see Knight of Wands as like sexual passion. And so I feel that he doesn't have a sense of stability, because the Hierophant is all about stability and spiritual like guidance and direction and like a structured sense, okay? And the 9 of Pentacles is an independent card. This is reversed, okay? And the 8 of Swords reversed to me is like an exaggerated 8 of Swords energy. So this masculine, the only thing that he's able to do is take action and be impulsive and go after what makes him feel good, because that's his way out of the confusion that he feels with everything else. And so what I was talking about in my other reading, and I was just getting a really heavy energy, so I have to bring it up, is that I feel the masculine is in this energy of, you know, when you are, if you've ever been in like an addictive mode, let's say you're like, I'm starting my diet on Monday, and you're like, Monday, I'm not going to eat any donuts, I'm not going to eat any pizza, any chips, but you feel like you've been in this cycle where you've been feeding the lion this energy of destruction, okay? So you say, this day is when I'm going to wake up and do it. I feel the masculine is having a lot of those days where he's like, all right, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to get my shit together. And I don't feel like, okay, I don't feel the masculine is in that extreme of an addictive space, where he was maybe when you first met him, but I feel he is getting there. And what I was getting in my other reading is that he's having these little things along the way, like little things happen within whatever addictive mode he's in that are like this universe, his spirit guides, his angels saying, you need to get out of this because you're going down a bad path. But it's not so much in that horrible energy right now. It's not super destructive. It's just enough right now to where it is inconveniencing him, and it is stressing him out, and it is making him feel really stuck. But all he knows how to do is to be in this like impulsive mode where he doesn't have to think, he doesn't have to feel, and he can just keep acting on impulse. Okay, so I feel that's where the masculine's at right now. Let's get some more energies here. We've got the Lovers, we've got the Star, we've got Four of Cups, we've got Nine of Cups. These are all upright. I feel with these cards that the masculine is trying to rectify things from the past by doing things better right now in his life, by, you know, all of the discord he had with maybe choosing between the feminine and a karmic, rejecting the feminine, the damage he caused, the way he denied her what she wanted. I feel what he's doing right now is in a weird roundabout way trying to feel better about what he did, because that's what I was saying in the other reading too. The first feeling I got was like a regret and remorse. I feel that he made a choice between two lovers and he didn't necessarily choose what he wanted. He wants to still feel like there's an option, that the feminine is still there, but he also knows that he did her wrong, and he hasn't really dealt with the actual like harm that he's caused her. He just kind of wants it to blow over, and he just kind of wants to believe there's still hope, there's still this ability for him to manifest what he wants. There's still everything he wants accessible to him, but he knows that there was a rejection here and that he did hurt the feminine, but he doesn't necessarily want to face it. Okay, now I know some of you guys might be triggered by these messages. They just are what they are. Most of you guys hopefully have dealt with some of it to the point where you're able to at least acknowledge the reality of what happened. I'm looking for this book. This is so strange because last time I don't know where I put it in this. Oh, okay, there it is again. Okay, so I feel the masculine is just in this really avoidant space, and that's what I got before was the Five of Swords. We got an Eight of Swords again in reversed. So to me, this is a very, very consistent message. The Eight of Swords, you know, is being mentally trapped, is being stuck in this loop, okay? And that's what I get with, like, his addictive mode. Now, in the other reading, I was getting a lot of, like, sex addiction stuff. I did pull a twin flame shadow of lust, and I do feel like, you know, that sex addiction could be it, but it could be really any addiction, okay? But with the Eight of Swords reverse, I do feel like he wants to break free. I want to break free, I want to get free, right into the sun. I do feel like he thinks the things he's doing are things that get him out of this frustrated space, but it's more of an avoidance, okay? So he thinks he's not really living in a solution, he's living in more of a temporary fix that gets him out of feeling stuck. So every day he might feel this Groundhog's Day, but he wakes up and he says, you know, I'm not saying your masculine's an alcoholic, but this could relate. I'm not going to drink until tonight, or when I drink, I'm going to only have a couple beers tonight. But it's like the same thing over and over again. Then 3 p.m. rolls around and he has to start thinking about things. And he's like, I'm just going to have a drink. And these are things that in the moment the masculine feels are making him feel better. But at the end of the day, they're what he goes to his head hits the pillow, and it's just another burden, another feeling of failure, another way that he's not meeting his potential, and he's very conflicted about it. And I feel this is Five of Swords, it's his own internal conflict, and a lot of it has to do with this. He still is standing at that crossroads where he had a choice between two lovers, and he feels like he chose the wrong one. Okay, he didn't choose the feminine, and he feels like he's being punished. But I also feel like he's in this daydream land where he still feels like the feminine could be his if he really wanted to. And so knowing that she's so accessible makes him feel like he still could do whatever he wants here. Exposed and revealed. Ears wide open. Wow. We've got, okay, I do think all of his senses, we have 33, 21, and 34 here. Opening to discovery. I do feel like he is close to an awakening in the sense where he's open to messages, auditory messages. He could be hearing music. He could be hearing people say things. His channels are sort of open between the ears wide open, the eyes exposed and revealed. Okay, eyes and ears. He's starting to open up, and then we have opening to discovery. So he's starting to get messages, and these messages are really starting to hit home for him. Like, he's not so closed off. So, and I think that's part of where his pain is coming from, because the more he opens up, as the feminine knows, the more he has to sort of deal with things. And I was saying in the other reading that I think part of the masculine's problem is that he feels if he starts having to deal with things that he has to address everything. And that's what prevents him from even going there, because it's like Pandora's box. But I don't feel like he understands he can limit the amount that things start coming through as long as he starts slowly chipping away at stuff. A burst of magic. So I get with this too, you know, when we are like wanting someone to like face their demons and, you know, even go to therapy and do all this hard work, we tend to forget though that life is meant to be in a high vibration. So even if someone is facing their demons, they're still entitled to feel okay enough to function, to still feel hope and belief in positive things. And I feel that that's where the masculine feels like if he opens up Pandora's box, it will just be a flood of darkness. And he is entitled to still feel some sense of peace and sense of stability through this journey. Everyone is. No one is strong enough to just live in darkness all the time. So I feel that's where he's sort of conflicted about this, if you guys understand what I'm saying. That, like, people facing their demons doesn't necessarily mean that they just have to sit in a dark pool of water, like, the whole day. Like, they still are, we've got cold for his shadows. They're still insecure. Irresponsible. And that's the message I was getting in the other reading too, is that the masculine obviously still has some growing up to do, and I feel that it's easier for him to be irresponsible because then he doesn't have to disappoint himself when he does try to tackle things, and he feels and he feels like a failure if he's not able to. So this irresponsible thing is almost like a defense mechanism, so he doesn't have to even try, so then he can never fail, because he's really insecure when it comes to it. He really doesn't think he's up for the task of facing himself and being a mature adult, okay, and being someone that can face things. And it's easier for him to turn his back on things than to face them. It's easier for him to turn cold than to really let himself start feeling everything he's feeling, because I feel he's afraid to drown in his own emotions, in his own sorrow, in his own pain, in his own regret. So a lot of this is a defense mechanism, okay? I do have 10 minutes of the other reading I did, but it's kind of random because you don't know what I talked about before. But I think I may have that as a continuation just so you guys can kind of see where the feminine's at. Okay, let's get some more messages. Redemption. Now, absolution, forgiveness, penance. Now, I feel that, like, part of this is that the masculine has to know that if he does face stuff, or if he even comes to the feminine and apologizes, that she will forgive him, and that even if even with the shittiest things he's done, he's still loved and accepted by her. If he finally admits it to himself and to the feminine, will she forgive him? Will she accept him? And will he be able to accept himself? I think is the bigger question for the masculine. Can he live with himself, really looking at the man in the mirror? I talked about that in my reading earlier this week, okay? Look at this. Yeah, compassion for himself. That's part of this whole journey with both masculine and feminine, is having self-love and compassion, okay? All right, let's get some of these. Too many cards here, and they were all together, so I don't want to do that. What are there so many? Dance with life, do something to change your energy. And that's what I'm saying too, is that the masculine has to shake things up, because the way things are going right now, there's no dance. It's a dance floor without music, without the energy to do the steps. It's just stagnant, okay? He's got to change up his energy somehow, because he's getting into this groove where he's like literally rotting away. I get the feeling, okay? Birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into beginning. This reminds me of the star. And I do think he has like ideas of a brand new beginning, but I feel this masculine is very much a dreamer, and he hasn't really actually thought of ways to put this into motion. It's more like an idea, which is fine. I'm trying to find the cards that align with that. Well, we have 9 of Cups, which is all about wishes and dreams. We have the star, which I can't find here. But I do feel he has a lot of like visions and desires, but he hasn't put forth into motion how he's going to do it. And a dream is a wish your heart makes. It almost might be very subconscious, his dreams, okay? He almost maybe hasn't fully tapped into it yet. Let's see where the feminine's at. She who hesitates, she who sees. We had those seeing here, exposed and revealed. And look, this is sort of like that lion. We got the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands in the beginning. Makita, observe, perceive, and scrutinize. And she who hesitates, ponder, delay, and confidence. You know, the feminine knows what she feels. She knows what she sees. She is observant. She gets it. But I feel she has doubt, and that's what I talked about in my other reading too. She doesn't always trust herself, and that's part of her journey. But also because the masculine, a lot of times she's seen things, she's exposed and revealed things to him, about him, and he's made her question what she's observing. And the masculine does serve as that trigger for her to really face herself and to really learn to trust herself. And he is going to give a lot of pushback, because the point is for her to learn how to trust herself regardless of what anyone says here, okay? I talked about that in my other reading, and I think I'm going to combine that into this. Let's get some more tarot messages about the masculine. But I mean, this Four of Cups right here to me is very much the space I feel the masculine is in. And this could very well be cups of alcohol, drowning his sorrows, okay? Because he didn't take this innocent cup of love, and he doesn't know how to live with himself, so he, you know, engages in substance abuse. Yeah, we've got Strength reversed here. He's not in the best space. 3 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups reversed, which is to me a very extreme nostalgia, and also could even be like a sexual like desire for the feminine here, okay? And this is also restraint. I'm actually going to take these upright though, because to me, I read them the same way. And the Hangman. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to rectify the past. And we've got so much Leo fire sign energy here. This Knight of Wands, this Strength, okay? So you guys could be dealing with a Leo. But I feel this is the masculine really dealing with his ego, really dealing with his strength, his courage. And I get that a lot with the readings, you know. He is reflecting a lot back on the feminine. So if you guys have been in that nostalgic energy, it's coming from him as well. And this Hangman to me is very much about the Eight of Swords, like the Eight of Swords energy, where he's getting illumination, okay? Things are coming to him. He's in this space where it's all supposed to be hitting him, because that's what the Hangman is about. His crown chakra is light. He's getting enlightened, but he still is stuck between the past and the future and making a move. He's making easy moves, but he's not making necessary moves, is the feeling I'm getting. So he's making himself feel like he's not super stagnant because he's doing these little things, but he's not actually doing and making the moves he needs to be making. Okay? Let's get some from this Divine Feminine. It's very hard to do a reading after you've already done a reading, because you're like, should I be taking the last messages? Because it's like the energy hasn't shifted that much within 10 minutes, you know, in the collective. But Our Lady of Guadalupe, the Empress of Protection. I am safe and divinely protected. I am held in love at all times. And this is the kind of feeling I'm talking about, where the masculine needs to know that even if he does face his fears, even if he does face things, that he's not going to be burned at the stake, that there is still going to be love and compassion no matter what, no matter how bad of a reflection in the mirror is, that he can still find love and compassion within himself and from the feminine. Queen of the wilderness, the language of the natural world is a frequency of love. This is my mother tongue. And I did get in the last reading Queen of Swords, so I do feel like, you know, the feminine hasn't always spoken in the nicest of words to the masculine, and to remember as a feminine to, yes, we're here to shine the light, to open up, you know, Pandora's box a little bit for the masculine, to show him his reflection, but also we want to make sure every statement and everywhere we're coming from is from a place of love, no matter what energy they're coming from, okay? So let's end with a Mystical Shaman Oracle card and get a final message from the Mystical Shaman about the dynamic here, okay? A dream is a wish your heart makes. The moon and the owl. Oh, to me, this is another vision. The owl like sees the higher perspective. Owls are all about wisdom. They're also like very strong spiritual totems for like transformation, and the moon and the cycles of the moon. This is really powerful. Number 36 and 39. And so, I do feel when the masculine goes deep inside and he faces the truth, he finds the feminine, because this moon, there's a feminine. This is his deep, dark underworld of the truth for him. And when he searches himself deep within, he does find the feminine, okay? So that's the way I'm going to leave that message, this message. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in with me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.